Game, like we have an agent who is playing the game, and we have one termination state. This is basically termination state. This is also an termination state. What does termination state mean? The termination state means the agent cannot move further from that. Like it can be a loss or a win for the agent, but it cannot move further. So basically this is an termination state. So we are saying that what is Markov decision process? In Markov decision process, we are saying we don't have the control of the opponent. Control of the opponents mean that we have an agent. This is basically an agent. This is basically an agent. We are saying that an agent have the probability to move upward, to move in the forward direction, to move in the downward direction, and it can also move in the right direction. We are saying that in grid MDP games, Markov decision processes, we don't have the control on opponent. Opponent mean agent. We are saying that they have the 80% probability that they will move in the expected direction. Expected direction means that they have the probability that they will move according to our expectation in the forward direction. But they have also the 1% probability to move in other directions out of our expectations. So we are saying that these are basically in decision processes we are talking about the opponent that is not in our control. So that we are saying that now the agent can move upward here. It will move here. We are saying that whenever the agent will move in any direction, it will get some reward. Reward means either it will get the positive reward or it can also have the negative reward. So we will discuss that how the agent will move and the probability that in 80% probability it have to move in this direction and it can move in other directions out of our expectation. So we will make the policy in this. We are talking about what is the basic needs, like what type of functions we will require. We will require these functions for the grid MDP game development. We will require the reward function. Reward function mean that reward can be positive or negative. Like in the positive direction it will move +1, it can gain -1. Then we have the action. Action basically define the move. In what action mean what action it will take to move. That is the basically action. Termination mean like the agent cannot further move. And go function, what is the meaning of go function? Mean that when it will move from one direction to the next direction, next state, from one state to the next state. So we will require a go function to define that agent movement we are talking about. Then we are saying that from the method, the basic functions we will also require the discount action. This means state of actions, terminal states. Discount is basically it will delay our reward. It will delay the reward and it will multiply the discount value with the reward. Reward will multiply with the discount value. And then we are talking about probability. Probability is basically the probability. This is that 80% it will move in this direction, 81% it can move in other directions. So basically we are talking about that basic need of the now we will implement in Jupyter, and then we will analyze the movement. So we have talked about that. First of all, we need an MDP decision process class. Then in that class, we will make a subclass of grid. So basically, first we will talk about the class MDP, that what MDP basically required, or class MDP requirement is. So we are saying, first of all, we are going to make a class of MDP. MDP we have talked about here that we will need action list, terminal discount, but reward we will need transition and action functions we will require. So we will define now the functions. First of all, we will define a function for initialization function, and here we will provide the parameters. This is basically, we are just outer structure we are developing, not in deep we are going. In deep we will do later. Then we have to define the function for the reward. We are talking about reward. In reward, what we have said, reward can come on the state. Like this is a termination state and it have +1 reward. It means that the agent will move on this state to get this reward. So in reward we are talking about state, and what we required, we are saying that just return us the reward. It is positive, either it is negative. In case of if we are losing the game, opponent is losing or agent is losing the game, so it means that the reward is negative. And if the agent wins the game, then it means that it is a positive reward. So we are not talking about positive, negative, just we are talking about the state, and just return us the total reward. Whatever the reward is, either positive or negative, just return us the reward of the state. Then we are going to define a function for transition. Transition function means that movement. Transition function is basically agent have to move on the state, and for that it will take some action. Action is required to move from one place to another place, so we are talking about that. And then it should return us the